Hi everyone, welcome back. We're back on the Simplifying AI series here with Radian again. And yeah, we will be answering more questions and talk about more of the hot topics at the moment regarding AI. I'm Rosilda, Senior Software Engineer and Team Lead here at Knowledge Solutions, and yeah. On the topic of can AI make mistakes, as we stated so far, can you name an experience or a specific use case where you've noticed a certain mistake that developing with AI has made?
Yes, we've had our fair share of AI-assisted software not having some drawbacks and some issues. One example I can think of was a case of a very tight deadline project for an internal tool. One of our clients asked us literally with a week of notice, can you help us build like an event management application for an event that was happening for the internal team. And the app wasn't too big, but it also wasn't too small. So it was sensible in terms of the functionality that it needed to do. So it required authentication, it required a interface for the participants of that event, it required a page for the event administrators to manage the activities that were happening in that event. There were a couple of QR code scanning and some activity like gamification of that particular event. And being pressed in time, we opted to use one of the commercially available AI-assisted tools out there to help with the speed of development, and we put in quite a bit of capacity in terms of building as well as updating and tweaking the designs to match the requirements and the brand guidelines of the client. But then the majority of the capacity we put it in testing. A little bit of automation, but mainly manual testing in this particular case to make sure that the features were functioning correctly, like authentication, QR code scanning, and some other activities that are happening in the event, as well as the admin interface. All was perfectly fine. We obviously deployed the application on the cloud using automation tools and such. The event started, everyone was happy. Everything was working fine. About 1 hour in the event, our engineers who were on support got some messages saying that some people were struggling to log in the system. They kept looking at the logs, they looked at the telemetry of the application, everything was fine. Nothing was out of the ordinary, and they couldn't tell, why some people, but not some others, weren't able to authenticate and to log in. One of our senior engineers spent a bit of time to look at the underlying code and realized that it was a classic case of AI-assisted code which has its assumptions or assumes that a certain piece of software should behave in a way rather than another, and had missed out the fact that there was a default limit on the SQL queries that were trying to fetch the profiles of the authenticated user profiles coming from our IDP, the identity provider that we were using in this case. So yeah, practically the logic which was trying to fetch the user profile to enrich the user profile in the context of the application was failing, because every user that was trying to authenticate after the 100th user was experiencing such issues. And yeah, it is those assumptions that sometimes, I mean, in this particular case, this was an internal application. There was a bit of sort of downtime for a part of the participants, for a segment of participants, unlucky 101, but it was resolved in a matter of minutes, and the issue was fixed and resolved, and the event was completed successfully. It was a success, but not without teething issues. So normally the way how to mitigate this is definitely to have experienced engineers overlook and to have very good oversight in the software that's being developed. Are we building a system that needs to sustain, 50 users or 50 million users, right? It's two different problems. From our team here at Honor Solutions, thank you for watching this episode of Simplifying AI series. If you found this content helpful, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's trying to make sense of AI too. See you in the next episode.